Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So guys, it looks as though the drama with Nigeria's favorite Igbo guy, and by Nigeria's favorite Igbo guy, I'm talking about MC Iberiberism himself, Okorocha, Mr. Iberiberism. It looks as though the drama with this guy is one that will never end, because it seems to latch from one drama to another. You already know that he's engrossed with INEC in the battle for his return letter for him to go to the Senate, with INEC not saying that rather that they do not want him in the Senate, and him going through the court to get them to release his return letter. So he's still in the throes of that battle, and suddenly another battle emerges. So guys, I bring you this. Stop blackmailing me. I have handed over everything. Okorocha replies Governor ihedioha. So stop blackmailing me. I have handed over everything to you. Okorocha replies Governor ihedioha. So this is a battle now with Okorocha, Iberiberism, and the new governor of Imo State. So here is the body of the story. Immediate past governor of Imo State, Okorocha, has reacted to claims made by his successor, Emeka ihedioha, that he has not handed over to him properly. Governor ihedioha, during the swearing-in of some government functionaries yesterday, June 3rd, accused the former governor of refusing to hand over the state and its assets to him properly. He gave the former governor and his aides 24 hours to properly hand over to him. So first, let's go to that story actually where he gave that ultimatum before we come back to this one to follow through. Imo State Governor Emeka ihedioha gives ex-governor Okorocha 24 hours to hand over properly to him. So that's the headline of the initial story that started all this palaver. Imo State Governor Emeka ihedioha has given the immediate past governor of Imo State, Okorocha, up to midnight on Tuesday, June 4th, to do a proper handover to his government. ihedioha gave the ultimatum at the government house in Owerri during the swearing into office of the Secretary to the State Government SSG, Uche Oyegwucha, and Chief of Staff, Chris Okewulunu. The governor afterwards ordered the permanent secretary and head of service under Okorocha to quickly prepare all the necessary documents and hand them over to the SSG and Chief of Staff before tomorrow's midnight. The state governor also asked the residents of the state to be given free access to the state government house to see for themselves the deplorable state of the government house Okorocha left behind. So apparently Okorocha had smashed up the place because he had lost her position and decided to do some damage. And for me personally, I do see him as that sort of character, a real nuisance in the Nigerian space. So he goes on to say, I have directed the head of service and permanent secretary to ensure a complete handover of all government properties the last administration utilized on behalf of Imo State to SSG and Chief of Staff of Imo State Government. I want the process to be completed by midnight tomorrow. I spoke to Imo people that we will start work, we will resume work, we will give no excuses for not performing, we will give dividend of democracy irrespective of the status of the state of facilities I have inherited. The government that ended was not prepared to hand over or ready to receive us. I thank Imo people for receiving us, and we will serve the state with the fear of God. So this was the opening salvo by the incoming governor that's now led to the response by Okorocha with what he's now having to say to defend himself. So where were we on that piece? So Reacting to Governor ihedioha's claim, the former governor, in a statement signed by his media aide, Sam, I'm not going to attempt his last name, so we'll call him Sam, said Governor ihedioha was only blackmailing him as he has handed over all the state properties to him. Okorocha accused the governor of always vilifying and attacking his person since he assumed office on May 29. He renamed the Imo Trade and Investment Center ihedioha Center, and he must have discovered that he had no audience. He has also said that the brand new government house Okorocha handed over to him was an eyesore with a photograph of a bad toilet they must have taken from the PDP office in Owerri. He has equally denied that the former governor left 42.5 billion for him. Yet the banks mentioned to that effect have never denied being in custody of the mentioned sum. Today, it is the issue of handover. There was a joint inauguration committee with the Secretary to the State of Government now, Chief Chris Okorocha, as co-chairman, and they were handed over both assets and liabilities and taken round key projects. They were satisfied, and the principal secretary to the former governor has also been there. He received the governor in the government house. He took him round and also handed over to him any other things left to hand over. Even before the 29th of May 2019, when he was sworn in as governor, he had made up his mind to invest heavily on blackmail against his predecessor. For instance, with the inauguration timetable, he was to meet with the governor then, Okorocha, on May 2nd, 2019, but he called to say he was traveling. He skipped that important meeting. Again, May 12, 2019 was slated for his tour of selected projects with the governor then, but he also avoided that. May 6 to May 20, 2019 was scheduled for ministerial handover and account reconciliation, but he was never seen. He avoided close contact with the man he was coming to replace. Even the joint inauguration church service fixed for May 25th, 2019 at Hero Square, he avoided that as well. Governor ihedioha should tell his audience what he wants from the former governor. Let him mention those things so that we can take off from there. Let him mention it so that his motive can be clearer. In any case, he should find out why it appears that Imo people are not excited about his governorship and also not in agreement with him in all his blackmail against his predecessor. And also, why on the day of his inauguration, Imo people never cared to know what was happening. Let him also know that by July, we are going to challenge him for a road walk with Okorocha on the major streets of Owerri. As we have continued to allude, he has come to unveil the heroism of Okorocha. In case he does not know, the only thing he can do and dwarf Okorocha is to work and achieve more than him. Where he fails to do that, he has lost the contest. It is only his achievements more than what Okorocha did that can help him in what he is trying to do. Aside from that, he should find other things to do or take the world as he sees it. Okorocha is the defending champion of Imo governorship based on his achievements. There is nothing anybody can do about that. So now that's the battle line going on in Imo State. Mr. Iberiberism and the new man battling it out. So the new man is saying that Iberiberism has not handed over properly, and Iberiberism has now listed out all of the attempts that's been made by himself and his administration to hand over this guy, to this fella, but this fella has been making evasive actions because he is intent on having a battle with the Iberiberism, because he thinks fighting Rocha's Okorocha will be what will elevate him within the mindset of the Imo people. This is my reading of the situation. I'm loath to back Okorocha, but it looks as though Okorocha might be in the right on this one. So this guy now should focus on taking over the reins of power in Imo State properly, so he can then investigate fully what Okorocha has been doing there. This is what we all want to know. All the looting that Okorocha has been doing, which we all know, this has to be unraveled, and this petty game playing is not the way to go. So take over the reins of power properly and then go for it. This is my recommendation. Now, what is yours? Conversations in the comment section as usual, but before you come join me to have that conversation, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray, bell button, that way you are notified every time I drop a new video. Then come, let's have a chat about this in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, meet you there, but here I say peace.